Well, I'm here at the Baltimore Book Festival. As you can see the poster over here, we're trying to organize for the big march on October 2nd. I've been astonished having attended a meeting and on some conference calls. I think it's going to be a very big march. I think the progressive forces are finally going to come out and speak about some very important issues: jobs with justice, peace and justice, end to all these wars overseas, bring the troops home. Today in the New York Times, if you got a chance to see the article, there's a lot of consternation because of the Pentagon sending National Guard troops overseas. The National Guard, as you well know, was set up to take care of Katrina-type catastrophes. When we had the big tunnel fire here, I think it was '01, the National Guard would come out, not to go and kill people in foreign countries. And I'm also trying to sell a book or two. Somebody was just looking for a book by Frances Fitzgerald. You remember reading her classic Vietnam book when he was 18 years old. He said to me that it turned his life around.
So Max, the big thing coming up then is on October the 2nd.
That's correct.
It's in Washington, D.C.
Right.
And it's called One Nation.
One Nation Working Together, yes.
And it's going to bring together progressive forces, anti-war, single-payer health care, all these other issues that we care about.
Yes, but to be frank and honest with you, as I always try to do, the 7 organizing groups wanted to focus on jobs with justice. It was only because the peace and justice people, the single-payer people, Margaret Flowers, for example, that we poked our nose under the tent. And we said we have to be involved with this as well, as the unions and church groups and so on. And the organizers were just going to have a rally. In other words, they were going to gather at noon at the Lincoln Memorial and do some speechifying. Well, the peace table, as it's being called, these are all the peace and justice groups, we're actually gathering at 14th and Constitution at 9:30 a.m. to gather placards, leaflets, etc. And we're going to march into the rally on October 2nd. I think that's going to be very impressive. And I know other groups, people concerned about civil marriages, for example, single-payer people. So I think there's going to be a whole conglomeration of justice groups that are going to gather and then march into this rally.
And the basic rally then will be up around the Washington Monument? Is that where they're
going? Actually, the Lincoln Memorial.
Lincoln Memorial.
That's where the rally is going to take place.
Oh, okay. And everybody will kind of converge on that.
Yes, and as I said earlier, the peace and justice people are going to gather near the Smithsonian at 14th and Constitution, and then we're going to eventually march in about 11:30 from there. There's many buses going down. At a meeting I heard there's going to be about 250 buses from Maryland. The unions are doing a lot of organizing. There's going to be 2 peace buses coming from the American Friends Service Committee. Gary Gillespie is the main organizer for that. There's also going to be a free bus and health care for the homeless. Anyone that doesn't have the $10 for a bus can go to health care for the homeless. And then there's going to be some churches in Baltimore and unions in Baltimore that will be having buses going down.
Anything else, Max, about that rally?
Well, I just hope that this is a start. I don't think I'm telling you anything you don't know. February 15th of '03, we had, and I'm talking about the world, the biggest demonstration ever. We did not stop the war. A lot of people were bummed out. A lot of people were disappointed and dropped out of the movement. Let's hope October 2nd, this is what the peace and justice people are talking on conference calls, and I talk to people around the country. Let's keep this going. Let's use October 2nd as a stepping stone. Move into March, the anniversary of the invasion of Afghanistan. I'm with the National Campaign for Nonviolent Resistance. We want to have a climate chaos protest probably at the Pentagon in March. So we have like 6 months to organize this. We think it's so important that we link up what the Pentagon is doing to the environment. They're committing ecocide on the environment, and it's absolutely necessary we go after the Pentagon and stop this. If we want to save this planet, we've got to bring together the climate change people and the peace and justice people united to save this planet for our children, for our grandchildren.
Thanks so much, man.
No problem, Bill. It's always a pleasure.
Now.